G'day, I've just got back from the track. It's Media Day at the 2021 Mexican GP, and I'm wearing this Red Bull cap. And as you can see here, this one's signed by number 11, Sergio Perez. Someone's going to win this. I'll tell you more in a moment. Let me kick things off with yesterday, which was the Red Bull show run through the Mexico City streets right down Reforma. There was about 140,000 people lined up, almost all mad Checo fans. He did a number of runs up and down this strip, did some magnificent donuts right in front of me. I was in the media stand with about probably 40 or 50 other journalists and photographers, but unfortunately we couldn't move around the track like we could at Dallas. So this was really all we could see. And the whole event actually ended early because there was a protest making its way towards the area that this particular event was happening, and the organisers didn't want to be involved in it, so they cancelled Sergio's last run and they cancelled the press conference. But afterwards I went across to the St Regis Hotel and there were thousands there hoping that Sergio would come in through the front entrance. I happen to know he came in through the back. They were out there ever hopeful, chanting his name. It was a great scene, and I actually walked here, and when I got to the end I thought, hell, where's my phone? Oh, it's in my back pocket. What a dumb thing to leave a phone in your back pocket in a very busy place like that. So I put it in my front pocket and I went round the back and I took this particular vision. Now, at about this particular point of time, someone has put their hand into my pocket without me knowing and grabbed my iPhone 12. So I was without a phone and very angry, but thank you to the two people that helped me out, a couple of Instagram followers of mine, and unfortunately I spent all of yesterday mucking around with my spare phone trying to get it to work. That was a good 4 hours, and that's why you didn't see a video yesterday. Remember, always pack a spare phone, because if someone nicks yours, you'll want to have a spare one handy. I'm over the lost phone, so let's go to the track today and tell you what happened on Media Day. I got in early and I was really amazed to see these huge posters featuring a number of drivers. Now, it wasn't every driver, it was just a select number, and I can't tell you how many because I didn't count them, but I'm guessing 8. And I don't know what criteria they used to select those 8. But as the day wore on, I managed to get a couple of drivers in front of their mural. Esteban Ocon was pretty good. I actually cajoled him into walking into the garage. Lando Norris just happened to walk past his mural, and Lewis Hamilton the same. But with this shot of Lewis, I was at a very low f-stop, and hence you really can't tell that that is Big Lewis behind normal size Lewis. One of my biggest posts of the day was one about Yuki Tsunoda. Now I've got to tell you, Yuki doesn't normally go very well on my page, but boy oh boy, he was very popular because he had a new haircut. Had a chat with him on the way out tonight, and he said normally he gets Japanese haircuts, but he said this time he went to one in Faenza, which is the home of AlphaTauri, and he got a different hairstyle. And I think it was met universally with great praise. Driver arrivals were quite interesting. This is a track where the drivers come right up to the gate, get dropped off, and then walk in. Now, the first 4 or 5 drivers walked in. There were a few people around getting selfies, getting autographs, and they were happy to stop and chat with these people for a second or so and made their way into the track. It was Charles Leclerc who was the first driver to get this cordon of beefy security guys, and they formed a little triangle and they made their way through the, well, it wasn't a crowd, it was a handful of people, and Charles was shepherded into the paddock. And that happened also with Sebastian Vettel, although Seb was more than happy to stop for a few selfies and even signed an autograph or two. Nikita Mazepin also had the security guard treatment, and as quickly as that started, it stopped. Well, admittedly, a lot of those autograph hunters were moved on from the entry to the swipe gate, and it became a nice clear passageway. But I do feel for this poor cameraman. This is Ivan Popov, who works for Match TV out of Russia. He was covering somebody coming in, walking backwards, as you do as a cameraman, but ended up on his bum, having tripped over this planter box at the bottom of the Rolex clock. I can tell you he was okay, although a little embarrassed. Other drivers today, Pierre Gasly sporting a nice Louis Vuitton shirt, and like his teammate Yuki Tsunoda, he too was sporting a new haircut. Lando Norris in a very happy mood. I got lots of smiles from Lando as he made his way into the paddock. Jumping back to this hat, signed by Sergio Perez. If you want to win this, you'll have to do it this weekend. So if you're watching this after the Mexican Grand Prix has been run, you have no chance of winning it. Simply go to my Instagram page and look for the posts on Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday featuring Sergio Perez or that hat, and the details are below the picture. Press conference. Mara San Giorgio, one of the prime commentators on Sky Italia, today poked her tongue out at me. She is a great lady and a lot of fun. We had two of the Mercedes reserve drivers with us today. We had Esteban Gutierrez and Nick de Vries. In fact, Nick de Vries was downstairs at my hotel tonight posing for many selfies and signing a few autographs. And it's funny because as I walked in, I'm at the Hyatt Regency, there would have been 50 people in the foyer just hanging around waiting for autographs. And somebody else told me at another hotel there were similar numbers of people inside the hotel. We got given this. A lot of tracks do hand out little goodie bags, so I haven't even opened this yet. So let's go through it together. There's a thing, and inside there is face masks and a whole lot of sanitizer, I think. My gosh, there's quite a lot of it. It'll last us for a long time. What else have I got here? A nice notepad. This thing here, which has a whole lot of solutions. I've got to put my glasses on to see this. BioHealth soap, some zinc supplement, some sort of cream, more sanitizer, and some sachets of stuff. And one final thing, what's in here? I think I know what's in here because we got one of these last year. Well, it was 2019. It looks like something you drink that makes you drunk. Yes, it's mezcal. So it's tequila of some sort. Thank you to the circuit for those lovely freebies. And while I'm at it, thank you to Rogelia Viegas for this little thing delivered to my hotel room today. It's a keychain with Mexico written on it. Anyway, getting back to what we're talking about, late in the day I went out for a final wander around the paddock and I found Daniel Ricciardo doing an interview, and I just sat with a long lens and shot him quite tight for about 2 or 3 minutes to get a whole host of reactions from Daniel, mostly big smiles because that's what he is known for. And I talked to Mara San Giorgio about how the media pen works with the interviews, because all the drivers have to go down to the media pen after they've done their interview in the media centre on a Thursday. And I said, how does it work? Which drivers get to go to which TV networks? And she said that the press officer for the individual drivers determine where they go next, but all of the drivers have to go to all of the television networks that are set up there. They all have a little separate space and they're separated by a metre or so. But there's no specific order that they go to, she said. Obviously, someone like a Ferrari driver would spend perhaps a little bit more time with Sky Italia than perhaps a British driver, and vice versa with Sky Sport England. But I did ask a couple of the interviewers who were the most prolific talkers in front of the camera. Who do you think they were? And I also asked who was the perhaps the least talkative, and you probably know the least talkative. That's Kimi Räikkönen. And the most talkative? Daniel Ricciardo and Pierre Gasly were two names that popped up amongst most of the interviewers. So going back to late in the afternoon, I then went out into the pit lane where there were a number of fans assembled and drivers going out and interacting with them. I caught Mick Schumacher trying to find out who owned this particular marker pen after he'd signed some autographs. Carlos Sainz, he was heading out for a track ride late in the afternoon. And I also found Pato O'Ward out there as well. Now, I didn't know this fella. In fact, the first I knew of him, he was walking past Daniel Ricciardo, who was being interviewed by Andrea Schleger for Austrian TV. Whilst he was in the middle of the interview, this fellow, Pato, has walked past and razzed him up a little bit while they were doing the interview. And I thought, okay, well, he's clearly someone of note and importance. And then he ventured out into the pit lane. And after I shot these photos, I just asked someone, who's this fella? They said, oh, that's Pato, local, popular Mexican racing driver, who I believe is testing, isn't he, for McLaren later this year? Could be wrong. I've been wrong before once. And that, my friends, brings me to something very exciting, because I want to send one of you and a friend to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix at the end of the year with an F1 Experiences package. Get this, you're going to get yourself 2 seats in the North Grandstand, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. You're going to get a Thursday trip around the track on the same flatbed trucks that take the drivers on the drivers' parade. And you're going to get your photo taken on the track holding both of the trophies for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. This is a package worth $3,500 US. And all you have to do to enter is go to my Instagram page, find one or all of the posts regarding the competition. They go up on a Tuesday and there will be 4 of them. And like the post, follow my page and follow F1 Experiences page. If you do that, you're in the running to win this marvellous prize. At this point, I'm going to ask you to like the video, subscribe if you haven't done so, and join as a member. You get some great freebies. You'll find all of my digital images at prostarpics.com. For editorial and personal use, you'll find my F1 photo books and some great merchandise at kimellman.com. And for my best pics live from the track and all during the week, head to Instagram and search at Kim Ellman. Thanks for watching and stay passionate. And like his teammate Yuki Tsunoda, he too had a haircut. Fuck, that's stupid.